first thing, for welcoming you, we can give you these bags where you will find the agenda for the day, and also you will. There is also some little gifts from people who supported the project. So we have the prize side. We were hoping for 2 months. I understand you totally speak English, right? Yeah. So you might be working in group with our volunteers, and of course, without whom we will do nothing today. So we're very grateful.
Even foto's maken op je portfolio?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we're recording as well.
First of all, thank you that you make it today, and we are super excited with Femke to share this event with you because it's our pilot project. We choose the name Art in Context very easily because it's a simple combination between art, which I present, and with the artist with whom I work as a curator and art dealer, and Femke with the interior design. She's creating contexts on a daily basis in various of activities that she has in her work. So we are both professional in the sphere, and each one of us will tell a little bit more in the details. But the idea behind this project and why we wanted so much to make it was actually to break some myths. And one of the myths is that dealing with art is mostly like a hobby. No, it can be a profession. It can be a serious game, and if you meet artists in the afternoon who present in our exposition, the 5 female artists who come from Breda, you will see that they're taking their job very, very seriously. So most of them left very secure work like lawyers, economy, to go to art school and actually to develop skills that will give them the possibility to become a professional as an artist, which is very impressive. And we also wanted to stress on the point for the second myth that they will be female artists because so far from personal experience from my profession, it seemed like you can be successful artist if you are more like male, you go in this field more professionally. People take you more seriously. And for the women, it still seems like a hobby on a side of all other roles that you have as a mother or as a home person who is taking care for the household. So this is the second myth that is completely broken with this exposition and with the context. And the third and the fourth are that you can't have a luxury lifestyle if you are like completely normal everyday person. That's not true. The prices are very broad in the art field, and once you find the good piece for you, you can make your home looks very, very fancy, and we will see in the context which we prepare for you that it's very, very affordable to have a good looking house with a good looking art which makes a statement that stands good in the house, and that can actually be shown to visitors to show your value system, for example, or to raise the quality of your lifestyle. And also for very personal reason, you will live in a better environment, which will give you better health. Usually, the things goes together. When you are satisfied and when you are happy, and every morning you wake up and you see something that you really love as an art piece situated in a context that you love and make you cozy, this really sets you to the day and makes you feel very good through the day. So those were the myths which we wanted to break. And now we have a little very short time in the timing workshop in which we would like you to grab some magazines, look through them, find very nice pictures that you like and that presents you as a personality, and use the paper, use the glue, and try to make a collage of your own setting that would present yourself in it. So please take 10 minutes and this has to be a group task, but right now we
We're in
will,
really intimate group, so
yeah, we are a very
project
intimate
this,
group, so I
yeah.
prefer that you will make it for yourself.
There must be someone coming.
Probably. But that is for you too, if you want, participate.
No.
Maybe you want to use the bigger table.
Yeah, you can use all the space in the room. It's all for us. So, and the timing right now is 11:15, and we will try to wrap up at 11:30 with this task.
Oh.
You can stick post-its. You can use those are markers. So if you need, we can use some markers here.
So we can cut.
Yeah, cut. Yeah. Play with your imagination as much as you like.
I'm overheated, can hardly sleep at night, doing crazy dreaming. You're the reason why. Hiding by the baby, losing my mind. Don't try to save me. I feel alive. My world is faster and faster. The tears and the laughter. I'm here for the ride. Yes, yes, I'm an emotional mess. Yes, but you wouldn't want me any less. Yes, 'cause you know how wild it could get to love an emotional mess.
That's a nice couch. I can have it. That's for 5,000, for example.
You have some money there.
Let's have your little presentations about yourself. I was thinking if you want, you can place it here on the flip chart, or you can speak from your place. But as we are small group, I think from the places is okay. Who wants to start?
I will start.
Okay.
Okay.
Please start with your names.
Yes, I'm Chiara. I'm Chiara. This is my name. I love the sea because I come from Sicily. I love also fish and seafood. Of course, we have the sea in the Netherlands, but
The camera.
it's a different sea. It's a bit different. So I'm Italian, Italian heart, and I'm very picky about food. So this is one of the reasons. I work in packaging for a corporate, and I'm not a creative person, but more about the logistics. But I'm around creative people. And as for styling preferences, I like black and white and very minimalistic, but so with some color. And I recently moved into a new house and still thinking how to fill white spaces because it feels too minimalistic sometimes and a bit dry. So I thought, maybe I can see about forms and spaces, proportions especially, how to fill. This is my presentation.
Perfect. Perfect. With very nice focus on why you are here, what exactly you want to take out. So you have a professional who can actually help you with all the advices, and you are very lucky to have this for free today. And also in a coffee break, so you are not going to the toilet. You know?
No. I won't be out for the next 3 hours. I understand.
It's not.
Okay. My name is Katya, and I'm also not so creative, but I love art very much. I just I found a few pictures in magazines. So like the first is the sea, because I used to live next to the sea last 8 years, and when I moved here, I thought I don't need sea anymore. I don't need sunshine because I was like enough of it. But now I feel that I miss it very much. Okay, you can see 2 pictures with the kids and family because for last 5 years it's all my life. I have 2 kids, and
I told you are 17.
oh, thank you. And all my life around kids, and to be honest, I want to create my own space for myself, but I really enjoy to spend my time with the family. So I try to separate my life and family life. This you can see. I have associated it with the life. I like. I'm really enjoying. How to say it correctly? I like to live. I like to travel. I like to live. And here I have association with the changes because for last couple of years we have so many changes, and I try to. We also moved to a new house, and like Yara said, I trying to make it cozy, and yeah, I try to put everything on its place. Just yeah.
And one little trick, like maybe not very polite to our sponsors from Lindbacker who have some stuff here around in the place. But Breda is a wonderful city for second-hand shops where you can actually have very nice findings. And if you struggle with how exactly to settle your house, this can be one of the approaches.
Yeah. About the furniture, we have no problem. We have furniture, but I mean, like to make it cozy, to put some vases, to put some
nice.
Decorations and everything.
So very to the spot here.
Yeah.
I'm sure Femke has a lot to say about that in details. Okay, who's next?
Yeah. I'm gonna put here and take it out. But see, after we take it out. Okay. I related more about my house, me and my house, not only personal. So I started with lift for lift because I really love light and light in my life and light at home as well. I love beautiful days, shiny days. Here in Holland is a little bit difficult.
They are rare.
Brazil, but yeah, okay. So at home as well, like a big window, something that's light. And also, I think it's very important to have points of light at home to make cozy, to make nice, and this project. I love green as well. In general, I'm more minimalist, more the colors needs to make my eyes and comfort and relaxing because my mind is too busy and I need to live in an ambient that put me go and down. So I try to do this, but I think it's important to be cozy as well. So green and wood, I think, makes this function. Yeah. I love cooking and eating, but for me it's also super important. I eat with my eyes, so I love beautiful tables, beautiful stuff, even piece of over the tables to make nice, and even to day by day. I love photography, mainly black and white, and different scenes and things. And here it's like a mix of stuff. When you can make a contrast at home, so you can put something really industrial with something really design, with something between of art, something that make this mix. I think it's something nice. And here is a sequence of pictures at an ambient like what I'm talking about is related as well. That's it.
Yeah, that's everything what you said aligns very well with my intro, that it actually can change the mood for the day. It can really gives you the burst for the start, and it can show how the day will go through.
Exactly. And feel
That's
good
right.
when you're on bed where you are.
We are living in a very nice situation nowadays that we can actually present our lifestyles through the objects around us.
Yeah.
And one of the possibilities is the green, the other is also is the food. That's why we have these cookies for you from Patisserie Nature, because it's something sweet that can actually.
They're delicious, but they're also looking really pretty. So
exactly.
if you're talking about eating
Yeah.
with your eyes,
Yeah.
she's really an expert in arranging this in her food. I personally really like that you have this topic of light in there, because the workshop will exist of 2 parts, and in the second part I will definitely tell you more about light and how this also influences the way we perceive color. And sometimes it makes it soothing to the eye, and sometimes it makes it pop into the eye. So you can really play with this in your space to make it the way you want it, because sometimes you want it to be soothing, but sometimes you want it to let something pop or really make an artwork, for example, stand out. So that's definitely something we will cover today.
Yeah, then you can make something that is disappeared and something.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, then I have mine. It stands for I love luxury.
Your name?
Daisy. Oh, sorry, I'm Daisy.
From I know, but.
I'm Daisy. I'm living nearby Breda, and it's a small town.
And you are from Breda?
No, I'm working in Breda.
I mean, are you Dutch?
Yes, I'm Dutch. My English is not so good like that.
We have here a person who is specially for you. If you need any support, Sarah is for translating.
Or if I need any support.
Good. All right. Yeah, I like what I said. I love luxury, so nice furniture, to dress nice up. I love to go out of eat, so I have some nice food. So I love to have nice food. I go to star restaurant or fine dining. So I also like to go with friends to drink some cocktails. I'm born in the nature of in the platteland.
Yeah, like the countryside.
Yeah. So I'm from the countryside, so I love sheep, cows, and let's make nature. A lot of gold. I love to have some gold stuff in my house, small candles and whatever, all kind of things. And I always like to make a twist in my house, so a lot of Delftblauw to make a statement. So luxury with a statement of Delftblauw. That's a little bit what I how I am.
Thank you. So, girls, are you ready? We started with the Dutch group, and we will continue with the Dutch group.
Hello, my name is Ilse. I'm the intern of Femke, so I helped with the exposition, but I also did this. Yeah, I love to eat and also make it. I like eat with my eyes, make it beautiful, and I'm also vegetarian, so I love to see for new recipes or try new things and share it with family and friends. I love fashion, yeah, to stand out or have just a different piece, to not be like everyone else but have some different things. I really love flowers and being outside. I love to go on vacations, and yeah, I would love to live outside of the Netherlands, maybe in Spain or Italy. And yeah, I really love like the style with the modern and some things of color that it can stand out and make it more colorful in your house. So that's a bit of things I like and do. So yeah.
And also, you want to make this your profession as well.
Yeah.
To make context, environment.
True.
Do you have interest only in interior, or you also would like to work with gardens and spaces outside?
Yeah, no, I'm more interested in really the fashion and clothing branch. But since I'm like working with Femke, I also really like the interior more now. Yeah,
I think it's good to mention that the education you're in is like styling in general. So if you talk about fashion, or garden or interior or food styling, or they are all different professions within the styling, but until some point they are all about the same like the same basic ingredients that you play with, like color and proportion, making something harmonic or making something that's not harmonic, or so in that way it doesn't really matter where you go, you always work with the same ingredients in the end.
Yeah, true. And then it's choosing for yourself what you prefer to do. And yeah, I really love to work with fashion, but now I also like to do things like this because we don't do this on my school. And I heard this and I was like, oh, yeah, it really excites me how I like it really much to do this, and I didn't expect that I like it so much.
Discover new things,
That's
yours.
And it's a little bit on time before having lawyer career and being economist and
You can still do anything you want. For sure.
Sarah?
Yes, I'm Sarah. I will be helping out a little bit with translating. I don't know much about interior design, but yeah, I do like.
Sorry to interrupt. This is one of the artists, Elizabeth Godry.
Hello.
So you can also meet her for the artist talks. Very good reminder. One extra myth which actually we wanted to break is I don't understand about. So I hear this so often in my work with the clients. I don't understand about art. I don't understand about interior design. There is not a lot to understand. There is a lot to feel, and a lot to go through your body. And when you see the art piece, you are like, I must have that. And then you enter in your house, and then you're like, where I should put it? And then you call Femke. And then you have solved the problem. So sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also a bit of a slow worker, so I'm not quite finished, but I do like the warm colors like green, and I also like when there's a lot of light in the space. So that's why I chose these pictures, and yeah, I don't know, like the warm colors like brown and green and blue. So that's what I'm kind of like attracted to when it comes to like how I want a space to look. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like learning from you today.
Very good. Thank you for the sharing. This is the group that we will work with, and I hope we will have a very, very productive next
I think we will.
1 hour and a half. We will to go through the agenda of the day. Now we will have a little bit of talks on the topic of. We can skip the intro, yeah? But you should say something at the beginning for yourself.
Yeah,
and
I
for
can
your
introduce
background.
myself a little bit more
Yeah,
about my
like-
background, and I just
Exactly.
put on the slide with the program. I don't know if everyone has already seen it, but like Petra mentioned, we have a coffee break in the middle, so I think it's a little bit high. The practical group task we just did. In the first session, I will talk about your home, so the spaces in your home, and how you and give you tips and tricks about how you can connect art to these. And then I will talk a little bit about sizes and shapes. In the second session, I will tell you about color and light. And then according to light in the space, but also lighting the art with fixtures and lamps. It's only 45 minutes, so I won't really go into depth. Also, we have a really mixed group of people that are more into the interior business and people that are not really. So I'm gonna try to.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was talking about is that I will really try to make it a bit more personal for you. And if you want to ask me anything in between, just ask, because we're in a small group. So I think that will work fine. And we will end today with another practical group task. And there we are aiming for you to everything that I told you, to put it in some kind of proposal for art in your home or in one of your rooms. We will see about that, maybe some more pictures, or we can really make it practical ready and translate it to something you can actually use and take home. I will introduce myself a bit more. Petra
So like I told you, she's an independent art creator. I'm a interior designer with a background in art, and that's also the way we connected. We know each other because we live really close to each other in the same neighborhood, and we actually met through our dogs. Walking the dog and getting to chat with each other and discovering our shared passion for art. I'm now working in the field of interior design for almost 8 years, I think. Um, I did art school here in Breda, in St. Joe's. Um, then I worked for quite a time for IKEA, so really commercial, which is totally different from like the art background that I came from. So there I was like, oh yeah, okay, then you get questions from real people regarding their homes and their environments that they work and live. And this really interested me because art for me was not far away from my daily life, and for most people it is. So this is how we really connected on this level and started the project. At the moment, I am especially working for companies in photography styling. So this also connects with the exhibition that you entered through. I create contexts on a daily basis, so photo sets for interior brands in all types of styles. So sometimes it's for more the luxury style. You, for example, talked about, with gold and brass and a lot of stuff in there. And sometimes it needs to be really minimalistic. So in the last few years, I actually got a lot of experience in working with different types of styles and when does something work good, when does something not work out, and how can you solve this? I live in Breda here for 5 years now. Just some personal stuff too. I'm 31 years old, and I'm also 4 months pregnant, so that's also why I'm sitting down. I'm not as far as Petra is, but this is also some of the mutual aspect that we find throughout the project. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm sitting down. Normally I would prefer standing up and tell you, but I will just sit and talk to you like this. Then what I would like to mention is about the project. Petra told you already about this, but from my perspective, what's also interesting is that every trend presentation I attend for the last 2 years talks about people buying stuff and more stuff and more stuff. And in general, what you see in these presentations is that all these trend watchers saying, well, people are talking about stuff, especially younger generations. They're like, yeah, it's going to be more about sustainability and less about people still want to have a cozy home and to have nice stuff around them, but it's more and more okay and not to be brand new or really cheap, or people will start caring more and more about quality instead of quantity. This also is interesting when you take a look at the field of arts, because of course you can buy reproductions anywhere. If you go to IKEA and you go to the framing section, there's so much to get. There is posters in any style or any size you can buy. You can take home for a few euros. But of course, this is really made for. It's not really made for cost. And if you compare this to unique art, which we present in the exhibition these days, this really makes your house special in a different way. It can be a conversation maker. It can really be a piece that you will cherish for a longer time, and you will probably buy it and never throw it away again. So buying unique art really fits in the trend of sustainability and investing in good quality pieces instead of like the throwaway pieces that you saw a lot in the last 10 years. So this is really something interesting going on, which I want to tip you about. Let's start with the first topic, your home.
Dispatcher also mentioned when she was just telling you about the project that in general you could say there are two ways of purchasing art. The first is what I do for clients. I design an interior or a space, and then I will look for the perfect piece of art that fits into the space. So I already have like a mood board or a color palette or existing furniture or stuff like that, and I will look for the perfect piece to fit in there. Or you fall in love with a piece of art. You walk through an exhibition and you'll be like, yeah, this is speaking to me in such a great way. I need to have this. You take it home and you will be like, okay, I bought some super red, orange work, and everything I have is like really toned down and minimalistic style. How am I going to fit this in? For both ways, we will provide you with tips and tricks to make it fitting in a bit more in your house because you work with uh, the same qualities or the same stuff to fix it to fix the problem. So my first tip when you have some art or you are looking for something that fits in your home is connect the art to the theme or the function of the space. Um, you can do this in a more literal way. For example, in the kitchen, any food related art fits very well. So this is a work of Daphne. We have multiple paintings from her in the exhibition now. Um, this would be perfect for a kitchen space or maybe dining space. But also any art in appetizing colors. So this is not really functional match, but more in the way you would feel about a certain painting. Um, and there's like scientific research that red, orange, and yellow are appetizing colors. So, think about McDonald's; they're red and yellow for a reason. So there, there are a lot of brands that also use this in their marketing strategies to make you feel like eating. Then I'd like to ask you, you probably also saw this work hanging around the corner. If you look at this, where would you place it? What would be a room you would think like, yeah, this would be fitting, or this would be nice. Here I would place it if I would take it home. Any thoughts or ideas? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, and why can you explain me why? Because this is probably something you, you feel. So try to put it. Can you try to put it in words?
Because her eyes are closed.
Mm-hmm.
Without clothes, it's more intimate.
Yeah.
Yes. And because of the colors that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really soothing colors. Maybe it even makes you feel a bit relaxed because she's closing her eyes. And what you see with the colors. Yeah. Yeah. It's really intimate painting. Yeah. So definitely suitable for a bedroom. So here also you could connect with a more literal way. There could be a painting of someone that's in a bed or someone that has closed eyes or is sleeping. Uh, but it can also be in color palette. Something fun, I think, is also really nice in the bedroom. I mean, how cool is it if you lay in your bed every day and smile before you go to sleep? It's maybe not the first thing you would think about, but this is more a way to influence your feelings in your house. But of course, also something sensual in the bedroom could work out really well. If we're talking about intimate space, this is the space that you probably won't have guests over all the time. So this is really the space for example, for drawing like this. The living room, I think when I look at my clients, that is the room most people are looking for a nice artwork because they want to fill a wall or make it more personal. Also, it's a bit easier there on the one hand because you're a lot in there, so it's nice to take something that speaks to you, which can be anything. This Amy's work is really small. I don't know if you also, but it's around the corner. It's like this big because it's like used on the screen now, but it really isn't. Which a small artwork, of course, you can add in a really simple way in your interior because everyone has some small wall space somewhere. apply if everything is white and gray. But you would if there is something yellow, something blue, or something purple, and you like more spring colors. Like I said, the living room is also a space that's really nice to have a conversation maker because this would probably be where you would be with guests sitting like this. And if there's anything in the room that you can talk about, that's always nice. Maybe either a painting, but also some beautiful ceramics that are controversial or a bit weird or maybe funny shaped or have a different color. And these types of things. Then above, maybe that's not the first room you would think about to put art, but it's actually kind of the same as the bedroom. It's also a space where you relax or take a shower after a busy working day, or so it's a really nice space to lift it up with a nice work. In here, you should always keep in mind that you choose good materials. Because I was walking here last week, and this sort of liquid is just around the corner, which makes me think of water or watery shake. And I was like, yeah, it also kind of make me feel relaxed. So it would be nice just chilling in the bath and looking at the work. But then because it is framed and it wouldn't last there. So that's something to keep in mind when you arrange something for a bathroom. Then this one again, yeah, it's a bit of blurry on the screen, but this is also one of the different words that we have in the exhibition. And here I also wanted to ask you the question, like, okay, if you think about less common space to use art in your home, where would you place this? What would be a nice spot? And can you explain a bit why you think about it?
Because
yeah, like in the balcony or an outside.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, but that's but inside. Just make your house bigger with a light performance. Because it's green, I see the flowers in it. Take outside, inside.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you actually totally nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't need to read it.
No.
It's feeling like it.
Yeah. But if this is exactly my point, that by just looking at the art and already associating with what you see can really help you find the right spot for the work. Well, then a little bit about size and shape. Most people, that I talk to when I talk about art, think immediately about something on the wall. But of course, art is not only two-dimensional. You also have like ceramics or plates or any kind of statues and materials that you can have in your house. So art comes in all sizes and shapes. It's not only paintings on the wall. So this would also be a tip from me. Like, okay, if you want to add some personality to your house, don't necessarily think about the thing on the wall, but maybe in your house it will be easier to add something in the cabinet, for example, because you don't have any free space on the wall, or you don't want to use it because there's curtains, or I don't know, you have big windows, so there's not that much open space left. It will probably be easier to add a nice vase or ceramic. One of the tips I always give people is when you want to place art in your house, cut out the size and the shape from a cardboard or from some old newspaper or whatever you have present and place it on the spot. So if you want to make, this is for example like a gallery wall, but even if you just want to place one big painting, really do this because you can see it in a context. For example, here the painting in the pink context. In here, it doesn't seem that big because it's a huge space and there's a lot of curtain. And if you would take this home and you would place this in your bedroom, it's like this big, so it's almost the size of your bed. So you can really be tricked into thinking something has a certain size, but then in reality it will be bigger or smaller. And you could even do this with furniture. I always do this with furniture, or when I invite people to buy, for example, a carpet or a sofa or a chair, I always cut it from newspaper and place it on the ground so you can immediately see can it still move around, or if you put it on the wall, is this a nice shape to look at? Because if I sit here and I constantly have to watch something that's really big next to the TV, it's really hard to watch the TV watching the movie because you're constantly distracted by the huge shape that's on the wall. And maybe you could have chosen better something that's a little bit smaller or more the size of the TV, or so you can already experience separate from color and any properties that are in the art, what the size will do in your space. And if you choose for a bigger artwork, my general tip would be give it space to breathe. So don't buy something that is just squeezed into the wall and only has a few centimeters left to move or to hang there, but really give it the podium it deserves. Then for smaller artworks, I would say collect multiple to make a statement. So you can already see on this picture that in this way it becomes more balanced. Or vice versa, can also work with smaller artwork. You can make it stand out by giving it extra air. And then I want to take you to the context technique because it's just around the corner. You can see.
Finishing up, if you don't have any space on the wall, like I said, go for something three-dimensional, ceramics, any nice vases or plates, or even if you don't want to buy like something sculptural but something more functional, you could, for example, go for tableware from any artist. This is Hanneke's. We have it also in the exhibition. Maybe you already saw it in the corner with the plants and the white curtains. There we made a context on the table where you can see the tableware. And this is really special because it has a kind of an odd shape. It's not the standard plate you would buy at any interior shop. So the shape is a bit, well, you know, is at least a conversation maker. But then also there's differences in structure and in size. And yeah, you should go check it out. If you buy something like this and use it, this also really gives an impulse to your daily life. And can make you think in different ways about art instead of the painting on the or the picture on the wall. Yeah, so that was it for first session. Yeah, I already see that it's 12. It's around 12 now, I think. We have approximately until 1. One past.
But if you have any questions or addings, and because we have like 3-4 minutes more, let's say 5.
What I do always at home about the space is I cut a piece of paper on it. I take a picture of the space, the wall, and I put in my computer in a really rough way. I'm not designer, architect, or something, but then I can have a look like a proportional or size or
You could even maybe cut and change parts or something.
That gives me at least a preview of the job. Also before to put paint on the wall.
Yeah, any nails in the wall or
Otherwise,
Okay.
That's all very good advices, by the way.
Yeah, you're thinking now like, oh yeah, I should do this.
But it's something like anyone can do. You don't need to be a specialist or a designer or something to do it.
No. You should especially do it when you're not daily into designing this kind of stuff. Because it's I always tell clients that they don't have to do it for me. You know, I can imagine how it will look because I did it a few times now, but it's mostly for them so they can experience how it will feel when there's a big carpet or when there's a couch that is like a 3 or a 2 seat, because they will be like, I want to have a big couch, so I want to buy the 3-seater. And then I will be like, but you also have like the side parts, which are sometimes bigger than the seating parts, you know, so it has a certain kind of shape. The one couch is more slim and the one has a really big back part, so it's deeper than they think and they can't move around. And then
Then the problem is
Yeah,
already there,
yeah,
so it's nice
yeah.
to see
So it's really good
before.
to see it.
Preview.
Yeah, it's kind of a preview, and it always works better than a 3D drawing, because a lot of people also work. I also work with it, 3D like SketchUp and stuff like that. But I always make it intentionally not too detailed, because people already are being like, yeah, but that's not exactly the shade of blue I would like to be on the wall. And then I'm like, yeah, but this is a computer drawing, and you see it on the screen, and your screen has a different shade of blue than mine does. So still you need to check out, the paint on a piece of paper, or cut it out and experience the proportional dimensions in real life. Yeah, but that's so good that you do this. It's also fun.
Painting tape.
Yeah,
Me too. Last
yeah.
time I bought a closet, and my husband, I don't know. So he was going to swimming with my boy.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I'm gonna.
He was coming home. What have you done? This is the closet. Oh, okay, you can buy it. Okay, bye.
It will fit,
so
yeah.
You see on the floor and on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, this also works very good.
Yeah. I always advise my clients also, just take some, go to the Action, buy some painting.
Yeah.
And just put it around. Oh yeah, okay. So they make visual.
Yeah, yeah.
Helps a lot.
Makes it easier to understand.
Yeah.
The other very nice advice which I get from Femke, because once we met, we started the podcast series about this topic, and then we were going first in her house with a lot of work, artworks which I have, and also then we moved to my house. You can watch this on YouTube. The videos are very dense with information, but in addition to what you said, she also proposed the wallpaper completely white, and then you can just stick it to the wall and then paint it in whatever color, and then it will be very, very easy to see the difference. And in the good thing is that most of the shops actually can sell you a little amount of paint nowadays, because before that you had to buy a bucket and then end up with whatever color. And people were going on a very safe white or beige.
Yeah.
At least in our country it's completely beige, everything, everywhere. But we were discussing with Daphne when I took interview with her, and you can also watch it on YouTube channel of Art in Context playlist. Here people in Netherlands really like to play with colors, right? So they can place black or...
Also the houses are having black and white kitchens, and
it really depends on age.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on age. Yeah.
Oh, they have
younger,
gray.
they go for more color.
Yeah. The younger clients I have are or well, they want to, because they still choose for still also younger people choose for white everywhere. Let's first paint everything white, and then we will and then my advice always like, then you can better leave it the way it is, because then if you're living in there you can see this purple wall is not working for you, or maybe it is, or because they buy the house and then it's like dark brown with purple and beige, or I don't know, any combination that they don't like, and they paint everything white, and they're like, oh yeah, it's also fresh, and then after a year they're like, it's boring, I miss any atmosphere, it doesn't feel personal, it feels like anybody's home. And then they need help with making a color palette, or so yeah.
Yeah, but in addition, in a color, I can understand why it's very easy to place any frame, especially, for example, Melanie's decision was to go for a classic white and black combination, but works like Daphne's works, which focus on oil paint and acrylic paint and very colorful framing, they can be tricky in a combination with a background, with the color on your wall. So that is something very interesting that we can talk through also after the
I felt there was too pink around. Like for me, personal taste, it was too pink around the pink painting. So I would have put contrast.
I will tell a bit about that after the coffee break.
The armchair, the sofa.
Exactly.
Like
it's really tone to tone balance. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Coffee.
shall we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I make one?
Yeah.
Question? Well, you told about the artworks that it's different from when you buy something at IKEA. It's also when you buy an artwork from an artist, you have something unique, and it's not a thing you find in 10, 20, 100 other houses. And also, you don't throw it away after a few years. Instead of that, you become an art collector because you can buy new artworks, but you always keep the other ones. So you become an art collector, uh, and at the end, you gain money with it.
Yeah. If you
It's
have
an
a
investment.
good nose
It's a good
for
investment.
that.
Yeah, it's an investment in a quality piece instead of a reproduction. Yeah.
But do you also have art abonnementen? You can change every 3 months.
Yeah, like with a gallery or something.
Yeah, rent art and
Yeah.
change
There are a lot of galleries who have
Yeah.
abonnementen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so strange the idea of
One of the biggest fear for collectors is the moving. If you don't have stable lifestyle and if you live on the rent, uh, purchasing art means a lot of hassle later on that you have to move. But if you are a smart collector, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can stock artwork that you have in a very good manner to be easily movable. And there are tricks about that as well, but we will make another masterclass on how to move and how to protect your artworks in the house in case you have too many. I hope you will become a collector.
I'm overheated, can hardly sleep at night, doing crazy dreaming. You're the reason why, hiding by the baby, losing my mind. Don't try to save me. I feel alive. My world is faster and faster. The tears and the laughter. I'm here for the ride. Yes, yes, I'm an emotional mess. Yes, but you wouldn't want me any less. Yes, 'cause you know how wild it could get. To love an emotional mess. I'm in a trance, spinning out of control.
Let's pick up at the topic of colors. I think we have a really natural way of sliding into this topic because we already talked about the ton sur ton palettes just before the break. For the people that are a bit in interior design, this probably looks familiar. For the people that are not, maybe not. I think all of you will know the color wheel from somewhere in school in drawing lessons or anything like that. Every color has its own place, and you can actually use it to make different types of color combinations. So first the ton sur ton color combination, which has all of the colors in like the same row, but with a different amount of white in it. Uh, Opposite of it is the contrasting color combination, which literally takes two opposites from the color wheel, which gives a really powerful combination and makes it stand out. And then you have the harmonic color combination, The name says it all. I think it gives a really harmonic and soothing to the eye overall picture. So here you can see a contrasting color combination. The artwork is really popping out from its interior. We actually call this complementary colors if you choose one from the one side of the circle and the other color from the other side. This way, the color use has a powerful appearance. So if you choose something and put it in your house and you're like, you know what, especially when you place your furniture like this, you will not be constantly looking at the painting. So you can choose for something that is really uh, popping out and really, which I think in general, this is a really this painting has really powerful energy. You can imagine, like the example I mentioned before, if you would hang this next to the TV, you're probably gonna go crazy because your eyes don't probably won't know where to look. In this case, you will see it when you enter the room, but once you sit down, it's still there, but it's not constantly asking for your attention. So this way you can still give it a nice spot in your living room. Then for the harmonic color combination, I took an example out of one of our contexts with the work of one of the works of Lisbeth. You use the colors that are next to each other in the color wheel, which makes a palette that is really nice to look at. In this case, you're in like yellow, yellow brown. We even added some wood, yellow green, which are next to each other. So this way you get a color palette that really, it's not as flat as the ton sur ton palette. It still has some contrast in it. And when you want to make them stand out a little bit, you can use neutrals like white, gray, or maybe even black to make a bigger contrast. Here in the setting, for example, we don't have a white wall behind, but the white is more in the painting. So the image Lisbeth has made there is popping out a bit more. And then for the last, I put in a picture of the pink context. Here you can see what the colors of the same tone are doing. They all have a different amount of white in them. And with this, you can think about the strokes that you can buy like in the paint shop or take for taking home and checking the color on your wall. They have the different shades of pink or blue or whatever color you like, but with a different amount of white in it. So this you can not only use in checking which paint you would like to go on the wall, but also in making the color palette for your home. So now I talked mainly about painting the walls or the bigger surfaces in your house, but of course there is so much more ways to add in color. If you don't want to paint any walls, or you be like, I have this super minimalistic house, I really rather keep it white or with sandy tones or whatever you like, you can always work with other elements in your home to spice it up a bit. For example, textiles, curtains, any carpet in a color that matches the artwork, pillows in the sofa, but also in the bedroom, bed textiles. So if you buy this artwork with all the pink tones in it, it's like super beautiful to put any pinkish bedding textiles. You don't necessarily have to paint any wall or use any wallpaper or do any big changes in the room. You can also work with smaller things. Of course, also depending on the budget. Not everyone wants to spend money on painting the wall or buying a big carpet, but prefers to do it with, color candles. But also think about plants. I think plants are really an underestimated accessory in interiors in general. This is more and more something upcoming to use lots of plants in the house. What you see is mainly green, especially now for the last like 2 years, the bigger green plants like strelitzia and with the big leaves and stuff like that. But really also think about plants with colored leaves. I put in this one. This is also in the pink context. But you have plants with leaves that have striping patterns. You even have plants with black leaves. So if you're liking dark interiors and you want to keep everything in the black tones, go to some garden center and you will definitely find a plant that is matching your own color palette. So this is really a nice way and a bit more original, I think, than the more common stuff that you find in any interior shop. Then about the light. I want to talk about the light in the space and also lighting for the art. And I want to visit the context with you so I can tell you a bit about the light and show you what I mean. And hopefully you will see and understand what I mean. And the thing about light is that in a space, the direction the light in the space comes from really determines how you perceive color. So every direction has its own characteristics. So if you have a room that's facing north with a big window, light will be totally different when you will have a room with a window that's facing south. The light has different color properties. So if you put a warm colored painting, for example, the one that's over there with the red and the pink in it, in a north facing room, you will perceive the colors in a different way than when you will put it in a south facing room. And I will go deeper into the characteristics per direction, and I think this is really something. This is probably the starting point for me for every design I make. I first check out the space. Where does the sun come up? Where does the sun come down? How does the light change during the day? And then from this, I know that a room will have a bit more colder appearance or maybe a bit more warmer appearance already naturally because of the light. You can't do anything about it. And then you can start play with color, with the size, and with the placement in the room, all the things I talked before. So in that sense, the presentation is a bit vice versa. This topic, I think, is the one you should start with after this in the practical assignment. So let's go to the room next to this. So in general, this space is a bit special because we don't have any windows in the walls, they're from above, which is the most beautiful light. If you ever get to choose any window in your house, this is like most natural to people to live in. It feels mostly like you're outside. For the past few days, I noticed that sun comes up there. So north is there, south is there, and it goes like this. So now it's actually quite angled above our windows. So we have a bit of in-between light here. It's not really yellow, it's also not really blue. If you now go into the room we were just in, there is much colder light in there. So if you put this pink painting here now, actually you have like pink, orange, yellowish. It's mostly warm colors that are in here. They are really fitting in this light. If you would put it in this room, the colors will look totally different. The purple will come more forward because the light of itself is more blue, because the sun is over here, it's shining here directly and not in this space. If you place it at the end of the day in there, the sun will be going there and shining in the windows. Then it will be more comparable with what you see here now. So this is really something to address in your house, and also interesting to just sit in the room and check it out during the day. It's like, oh yeah, is my apartment facing north? It's already feeling much cooler. So that part of the shop, for example, where we were just having coffee, it already naturally has more bluish light, which make any cold color even colder. If you're on the south, the light is more yellowish and more warm, so any warm color you add will become even warmer. But also it makes darker and really bright colors like banana yellow or, you know, firefighter red or something like that, like really outspoken colors, even more outspoken because of the warm tones that are in the lights. So if you're gonna paint your wall red in a south-facing window, that's pretty intense. And then maybe you would say, well, let's do that in the north-facing room, which will probably work better because there you have more blue and the red will not stand out as much. But yeah, that's also kind of depending on your taste, because then the red won't be that outspoken, and probably when you paint a wall red, you want it to be outspoken. So in this way, you can really play with the colors in your house. And if you're missing any sense of coziness or warmth, or first check how the light is shining in your room, uh, and what color palette you are using. Even when you're about the minimalistic style, all whites or sandy tones, you can play with the undertone of the whites. So if you're in a north-facing room, you could put on a white on the wall that's like cold white with a blue undertone, because any paint they mix will have a certain amount of color in it, even white. Yeah. So if you choose a certain tone of white, you can always ask for several samples of whites, because well, let me set an example with the roll colors. If you buy a new built house now, it's probably all roll 9010, which is the most common color, which has just as much blue as it has red in it. So it's kind of in between. If you would buy a new built house in the 90s, it would have RAL 9001, which has a lot of yellow in it, which is much more creamy. And so if you buy any, we actually bought a house from the 50s in which they painted the stairs somewhere during 80s, 90s, I think. It's almost creamy yellow. It's like the color that is on the small cabinet on the wall. So that's also a shade of white, which would work really well in a north-facing room, because if you would put this shade of white, yeah, if you would put this shade of white in there, this is RAL 9010, actually, 9010, it would become much bluer, and the whole room will feel much colder. So this is, in general, for the color palette in your home, a really good thing to consider, but also in choosing an artwork. Maybe this is not the right color palette for you to add, but maybe something fresher with a warm harmonic color combination will work better. Or maybe even the black and white illustrations we have in also in the bedroom, for example, in the more classic combination, you can add, but then try to choose a specific type of white to go with it. Then I want to talk a little bit about lighting fixtures you can use. In general, you can choose either for direct lighting or indirect lighting. Probably for you, this is something you also work with when you make lighting plans. The direct lighting is, well, the name already says it. You put the spot directly on the artwork. So, for example, this one you see here on the ceiling is really pointing to the work, and it's working fine because there is no glass in front of it. So this is a matte surface. It won't reflect too much of the light, also because of the distance, because you can play with this. Huh? You sometimes see these lighting fixtures that you can even put right above the painting if you put it on the wall, and it will be very close to the artwork. This works as long as it's a matte surface and not too reflecting. If you have glass, for example, with this one, you either need to make the distance bigger. So we used one over there to make this, to brighten up this a bit. Or I can show you the lamp that is here in the back, because this is all fixtures on the ceiling. That's not always possible for everyone. This is also a fixture that has indirect lighting. So it's not, you don't actually see the light source, so it won't reflect too much in any reflecting surface. That's also why we use it here, because we wanted to light this up a bit. But once you place a fixture here that has a visible light bulb, we tried it, you will definitely see the light bulb in the work constantly. So you can't really enjoy what you would actually want to see. So my tip would be check if the surface of your artwork is either shiny or not, and then you can choose a suitable light source. Then last tip for the lighting fixtures. If you buy a lamp for within the fixture, you should check the color index. Because this, for example, has a bit of a warmer color index, which doesn't really matter because it's black and white, and in general, it's a very airy scene over here. But if there is colors in the painting, so if you choose a light bulb for this one, you probably want to choose a you probably want to choose a light bulb with a high color index because that keeps the colors the way they are. It won't deform or reform or reshape any of the colors. So you still perceive them as they are. It's like with a computer screen. If you watch this on my computer screen, it will probably look different on yours and on yours too, because it all is set in a different way. And this is also with the light bulbs. Some are warmer, some are colder. So if you have one with a high color index, you will keep the artwork visible in the way you want to see it, the way it was meant to be looked at. Yeah, so that was it for me for the light. Maybe you have any questions about this because this is such a broad topic.
We are coming to the most interesting part, which is the practical task with your stuff, which you sent. We have two examples, one from Christina and one from Chiara. From 3 hours ago, I just saw the email by accident, but we will try to figure out what we can do as a group about it. So Femke was talking quite a lot about the details. I also mentioned some uh, side stuff like the frame, for example. As an example, Daphne likes to place the canva in so-called box frame, and what she do is that she actually paint the frame as well, which is not very typical. Usually, you have the frame as something that will
Something additional,
separate,
yeah.
additional. So there is also a possibility for the customer, purchaser, or collector, whatever you prefer, to choose the color of the frame. But in her artworks, she is already placing the frame as part of the artwork. So we have for that case, which is interesting perspective, and sometimes it can be challenging. So we will try to think for the next 15 minutes on the given context, which will be from Christina example and Chiara example. Here as a group, what can be done in a certain environment which you presented?
Decide about something to put on the wall behind the bed. When we move to this house, that side there is a mirror or something to hang clothes, the hanger. That is temporary. We bought when we moved, and I didn't change. I want to change it with a different big mirror and something in black different. And the sides for the bed, it's too small. Even I need to take out the back part from the bed.
Well, what catches my eye is that you have a very ton sur ton palette. It's all in grayish, blackish, whitish colors. Um, what I like is that you actually see the greenery from your bedroom. So if you want to add any color, but not too much, green is always a good option because it feels very natural, literally just evolutionary wise. We're really comforted by green. Doesn't have to be any screaming green. It can also be a softer color. And because the window is so big, it's already when it's open, this color is already kind of part of the room because of the size of your window. So that would be my suggestion to look in um, this corner of the color wheel. Let's say it that way. Yeah, and then my second question would be, um, do you want it above the bed? Because then it will be a bit of an extension of your bed in the shape, because you could put one bigger work or two or three smaller ones next to each other, or you have all kinds of possibilities. Or would you rather be in bed and see the work for yourself? Or is that not possible because there's also wardrobe? Because I think it stops like halfway the room, or is it all wardrobe?
Or only the back one.
So everything on the right is wardrobe then. Okay. Yeah.
One more trick which we made during the videos by hiding very small art pieces. So here comes the talk about should you purchase big artworks like meter plus 2-3 meters, also very big statement that is taking all the attention in the bedroom, or you can also purchase this size of artworks, which are very, very small, tiny, usually graphic, but also Lisbeth has an amazing collection of glass and thread small artworks. And you also have this pocket art machine, yeah? So if you know, do you know these machines?
Yeah, they're really
In the
funny.
museums, you can put a coin and then a random piece of art is falling from the vending machine.
So
And they are
yeah,
very small
so like a
sizes.
gumball machine, but with art,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, old cigarette machines. Yeah.
So that can be very, very nice solution to place it in a hidden places. And exact, of course, the bedroom is very personal space, so it's up to you who will invite, but you can always make a nice game, like try to find all the art objects that are hidden around. I can also see the Japanese paper around the bed as well, very well, because it has very nice symmetry with the lamps, and the light can come. Sorry? The Japanese paper. Yeah, there is a very nice collection, and because they are vertical, you can in that kind of space you can play a lot
Yeah,
with the.
what is nice about the Japanese paper is also that it adds a bit of structure. And when you like this interior style of everything being a bit more toned down and minimalistic, but you don't want it to go boring, and also you don't want to add too much color, you can always add structure. So you can do this either in the art with instead of a glass frame, something with a like the handmade paper. But you can also do this in bed textiles or with a plant. You know, plants also have different structures. So even a small one somewhere on the bedside table nearby the window, because probably if you put it farther in, it will die because it won't get enough sunlight. All these things add structure to the room, which makes it more appealing and more exciting to be there, and less flat, to say it like that.
Tell the story.
So this is bedroom, and I did some Photoshop this is a reproduction from Yellow Corner, that is, you know, this company that does acrylic painting. And now this is complete, but I have the feeling that I put the photograph too low. I chose the frame in accordance with nightstands. That could be customizable, and I still like to put something else, but I don't know in this moment if it's too much. It's going to be too much, or I have to keep, you know, the centerpiece. And even that's my wedding picture. I didn't even put it because I'm not sure if it fits over there. But it feels the rest of the room is completely empty. Let's say without anything on the wall, and it's all white.
Yeah.
Exposition with white curtains, so there is not much light overall in the.
It's on the east. Okay. Yeah, so you have warmer light in the morning, and during the day it becomes colder. Yeah, there won't be direct sunlight. Yeah. Yeah, but then I think you have a nice mix because you have some cooler colors in there, but in general, like in the bed textiles and the wood, and it makes it a bit more warm. I don't think it's too low. It is quite close to the bed, but I think if you put it higher, it will be kind of floating in the room. It won't really belong to anything else. It won't be, if you talk about grouping, it won't be a part of the story you're telling here. What I also like is that, yeah, because I'm also looking here a bit on the screen because the quality of the picture is a bit better. But what I also like is the difference between the fabrics, because you have like a velvet bed, I think, if I
Yes.
so, and then I see on your nightstand a lamp with a little bit of brass gold shiny surface. So that contrast between wood, something shiny and something soft, that works really well. I think I would go for some color on the wall, but not too heavy. Yeah, yeah,
Sandy.
yeah. Some sandy color would work well.
I can also see this color, like resida or greenish or how you call it? No, as a friend around.
Yeah, blue. Yeah, blue. Mm-hmm.
Between a blue and a green, but
Like
Yeah,
a pillow behind you.
but I can also imagine that some of the more yellowish colors that are in the bed textile now on the wall would also work great, because then you have the colors of the yellow and the blue next to each other, which is really beautiful.
not for bed. I chose the color for bed.
Hmm.
It's cool and it's relaxing.
Yeah, I think if you keep it, because I wouldn't paint all the walls. I really would only go for the one behind your bed. I don't know how the layout of the bedroom is, but I imagine it's just like a square, almost square bedroom. Yeah, yeah. So then I would just paint the wall behind your bed to connect it to all of the elements you have here, and then I think you are there.
I would also move it to the other side and play with the sleeping cupboards if you have extra light, or if you can bring light from the wall, that will be even better. That can be like a museum. Like if you make on top of your bed a little museum display, because the art piece is very classical, modern style, I can see, and very
Figurative
paysage. It's a photography.
Okay.
Okay. I thought it's
Yeah,
more.
maybe here you can see it a bit better.
Yeah, but yeah, photography also works. Like if it is not with shiny glass, you can.
Yeah.
Perfect. So then you can spot light on it and make it like a nice combination between light plus the art piece. Because in the videos again that I'm referring all day, I will send you the link to them, so you can see more in details what we talk about them. When you have certain items from the house, you can use these items to speak together with the art piece and actually make it work together. So in that sense, it won't be so in the center. And yeah, with this, actually, we can slowly wrap up because it's kind of lunchtime. And if you want to share more when the outcomes, do you want to add something to the workshop, or do you miss something that we have to add in the topics?
Oh, as for me, it was really a lot of information. Okay, it's maybe because it's a first event like this for me, and I really enjoyed this time. I I was understanding some things about interior, but now I feel like I understand much more how to play with light, for example, or how to, if you can hit the light, you can see a different type of light. You have a direct light. It was really interesting, and um, with the colors and with the examples as well, because I have now I feel sorry that I didn't photo from as well, because our wardrobe is a bit we bought a house, it was built in, so like the wall, and you have the wardrobe in the middle of the next to the wall, and then you have a bed, and I have no idea what to do with the corners, but yeah, but maybe I will fix it with light. Yeah, for me it was really interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's nice that you feel like having the tools to discover a bit more how to work with this. Yeah, cool.
Very nice. And yeah, I forgot to mention in the very beginning, but yeah, I think Femke more or less said that for 2 hours you can't go
No.
through the whole stories.
There's so much more to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is super nice subject to help learners or something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time today. And if you want, you can take a little break and breathe outside and take a little walk. From 2 o'clock, we start with the artist talks. Hanneke will be here, Daphne will be here, and Lisbeth is already here. Yeah, she's
better.
So if you want to meet them and to talk more, especially Hanneke is very on the point right now because she will talk about recycled ceramic and how the object should not be thrown away. A little bit of sustainability behind that, which is something that Lisbeth is also very familiar with. And the topic is close to her artwork. So it's not, I will not say from trash to art because it's first art and then it doesn't become trash. So it's vice versa. Okay. I think we can close here.
Yeah.
And move slowly to the cafe.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.